So that room isn't Outkick?
Yeah. I didn't even know it existed. But look,
Where did you go though? Oh shit! What the hell? How'd you put that
yeah.
up there?
On the computer, like I just went to the Facebook and then like I dragged the image and
What
then
the hell?
yeah, I put it there and then that's me up there. Like,
What the hell? It's like changing colors and shit. That's what the studio should look like, all fucking advanced.
look, and then this way it's a green screen.
Dang, if we had money, bro.
For real, like, honestly.
I'm like, if
Like-
if only. What's up, you guys? Welcome to episode 51 of CharroBeans motherfucking podcast.
This is the alien episode. Get it? Area 51? No?
Oh yeah, Area 51. I didn't think of that whenever we started this.
I thought of it right
51.
now, like when you said it.
51.
Yeah.
Episode 51. Okay, I like that. I mean, it's cool. 50 sounds more like, what's the word? It's got a 0 on it, so it's just like 50, not like 51. What point is
So when you
it's
see a $50 bill, you're like, damn.
yeah, that's what I mean. So we kind of ruined the aesthetic with the episode 51, but the point is we're here again with another episode for you guys. Thank you very much to everybody who watched the last one. Thank you to everybody who has been supporting CharroBeans podcast. We got a lot of love for the last one, a year of doing this whole shindig. So thank you to everybody who did come out and support and give us their words of encouragement. We appreciate it very much. That's the stuff that keeps us going. So we appreciate you guys' input on a bunch of stuff. And yeah, that's as much as I can say about that. So without further ado, what happened today is that we have one more guest for you guys. The last person we had on in here was Boyo, or his name is Luis, but nobody calls him Luis. Not even his parents call him. They call him Poncho, actually.
Right.
Shout out. Like when someone says that his name is Luis or Louis, I'm like,
Yeah, it throws me off.
it does throw me off. Yeah. So we had Boyo last episode, who plays violin for us. Thank you for listening to that one. But this other person that we have on the podcast today is someone who we just recently, in a way, well, are we losing him?
Yeah.
We're kind of losing him, right? Because he just recently joined the group.
And now he's leaving.
And now he's leaving. He just said, "I'm a dip.
Yeah.
Sorry about you."
So it was a fling. It's not.
It was like
it's
a
nothing
rental, really.
serious.
Yeah. He's like, "You thought this shit was forever?"
Yeah.
Like, the fuck? Yeah. So he came in around October of this past year. I knew him before because he was as of right now, he's my sister's boyfriend. And like as of right now, we're working on it. No.
Oh shit.
No, just kidding. No, but he's that's how I knew him first. I didn't really know him. All I knew is of him, and then he later on ended up joining our group. And you didn't know him,
Yeah.
or like personally, you
Right.
knew of him.
Yeah.
But we really didn't know how he was. But we had an open spot in the group. He came in and filled it.
La pues no hay más,
Yeah, there wasn't much more, here. So in a way, we were stuck with him. But no, just kidding. So, but point is, we have him here. His name is Saul, and he is actually, we're gonna talk about his story right here, right now. But without further ado, this is Saul Flores. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Saul Flores. Just call me Sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who calls you Sauce for real though?
I mean,
Or our boss?
yeah,
does.
Arturo actually calls me Sauce. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess just my friends, really. It started in
I'm
high
like,
school.
dang, okay, like
For real?
Whoa. Hey, damn.
We're like, I don't know, bro. I always just called you Saul, so I mean.
Hey, I asked y'all to call me Sauce. Though.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know what? That reminds me.
Stick.
He was like real quick from the very beginning. He got in the group and we were like his name would come up on the pod and he's like, yeah, just call me Sauce.
Oh, yeah.
And like from the very first time we were like, yeah, so Saul was doing this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But our boss
I
took it
think-
too hard and he's just like,
yeah.
what?
What was that? Sorry.
No, I just remember watching that one podcast was like, hey, call me Sauce. And then y'all were like, Saul, Sauce. Like, y'all
Sauce.
corrected yourselves.
Yeah, we tried our best, bro. Like,
Yeah, ever since I was like, I don't know.
I think I
Yeah.
said sauce like 3 times, and after that,
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean,
like,
think about it. It's hard because we kind of know. I mean, I knew you as Saul, so it just made it a little bit harder.
People like, I like it when people say my name in Spanish, like Saul.
Like
So like when they
Sauce?
no,
we're like Saul.
Yeah.
Saul is just like here's he's like like in Spanish.
Saul. No, yeah. So anyway, this is Saul. Damn, we just got off topic completely. Saul has been with us since October. He is currently he just when we say he's left us is because it's because he's going back to school. He's actually going to my alma mater, Texas State University in San Marcos. He's back there. He's working on his degree, right? So so as he transitions back into becoming a full-time student, I thought it was good for him to, come on here, talk about his musical journey and his journey just in general in college, and for you guys to get to know him. He's a good guy. But we want you guys to see what the person that's been with us, the past couple months. So, Saul, how are you?
No, I'm good.
You good? You cold?
Nah.
No,
but I'm good, man.
I see your nips from here, man. Like
John Lopez. I mean, if you know, you know.
Anyway, Saul, how are you?
No, I'm good, man. I mean, it's good to be here. I mean, I've been listening to you guys since before I was in the group, really.
Yeah,
listening. Yeah, I've been listening since the beginning.
All right.
But I didn't really know y'all. I mean, I knew Sammy. Like,
yeah.
Lela would talk about it all the time. I was like, oh, it's cool. I started watching from the beginning. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's like almost a year later, I'm here.
Yeah, man. We were grinding since June of last year, so it's pretty badass that you've been like I said, I knew of you. I just knew who you were because you were my sister's boyfriend, but that's pretty much all I knew. I also knew you played violin. I also knew that because you also played at Texas State, at the Texas State Mariachi. So I knew you were part of all that stuff because we've talked with my sister on here as well on the pod. So you've gone through many similar experiences as I have, and then also you're from Dallas. So talk about that a little bit. Your hood, I guess.
My hood.
Oh yeah, where are you from?
Yeah, Oak Cliff. I mean,
Oak Cliff,
Right,
Oak Cliff, yeah.
Oak Cliff.
I look for God though, like he just had it on. I was like, oh shit, come see him.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was born and raised in Dallas. It started off as like basically a small neighborhood, and then we've talked about it before. It just got gentrified big time. I mean,
Yeah,
Dallas in general has grown a lot since I was a kid. Really,
it's funny because. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, my neighborhood today looks completely different than
it was when you were
I was a kid. Yeah,
like 12 years ago, dude.
Hey.
You look super young.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like
that's
13
how old are
years
you?
old.
That's
how old are you?
yeah. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Oh yeah, because you've been passed off in this group as Victor's son.
Oh
Yeah.
At multiple gigs which we talked about, and they believe it.
Yeah, they don't question it. They're just like, you're so young. I'm like, I know. Like,
Yeah.
No, tele, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true because we've said it before, but you look young, but that's because you kind of have like a baby face. That's kind of what it is too, and you don't get too much facial hair too. So
dude, all I have is peach fuzz. You can see it with the lighting.
I was looking at that.
Yeah,
I was looking at that. I was looking at
like,
that.
damn.
I was like,
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's funny because you bring up Oak Cliff and Dallas because like that's literally the opposite of us because I think in like episode 1 we talked about talk shit about Dallas. We were like,
I know, I remember that. I was like, damn.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was like
he's like the 1 star on the reviews.
No, the 1 star.
I'm that one person that dislikes all the videos.
Yeah, for real, dude. We're still gonna find that person. There is one person. Yeah, there's one person.
No.
I'm like, I don't know where you are, but we're gonna find you.
I know where you are. Like, I'm gonna.
But it's funny because you bring up Dallas because like Dallas and Fort Worth, they're both in the Metroplex here in a what's called DFW. Everybody knows this area. Everybody knows Dallas, of course, and that's why we weren't talking shit, but we were just saying the fact that like
it sucks.
Hold on. No, I was saying that like anytime, like for me specifically, when I went out of Fort Worth and I went to Texas State, or you probably when you were in the Valley too, they would ask where you're from, and you say Fort Worth, and they automatically assume it's Dallas,
Awesome.
right? So that's kind of what we talked about. But you're actually from there, so you got like the full Dallas experience, which also goes back to the fact that you're a Mavs fan, you're a big Mavericks fan.
For sure.
You like the Rangers.
I'm like, don't remind me about the Mavs or the Rangers, dude.
Oh yeah, we're not in a good position.
Time.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be a sports fan in the DFW. Anyway, but you got a similar experience. So as we get into this this beginning with you, I kind of want to see how you got started. Really, since we talked about our upbringing here in Fort Worth, you can talk a little bit about growing up in Dallas, and then how you got into music. So how was that back then in ungentrified Oak Cliff?
Ungentrified Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
See, that it's cool because I mean, like I kind of like went through the gentrification process. Because my school was just like your normal like school in the hood, and then so as like they started gentrifying it, they actually started an orchestra program at my elementary school when I was in 4th grade.
Oh shit.
So like orchestra was like on the uprising, I guess you could call it, like in all of Oak Cliff, really, because before that it's just sports, really, like not that much.
Like before that, it was just like spray painting, graffiti.
Yeah, just
no, like we should give these kids not spray cans but violins.
Right.
And then,
but yeah, I mean, I joined. It was a brand new program. I think 2 of my older cousins had joined. Shout out to them, and I was like, I guess I'll do it,
Yeah.
And I joined, and I ended up liking it. I mean, it was elementary school orchestra.
Yeah, it's early.
So and I mean, I started from the beginning. I guess I leaned more on classical music since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like in middle school, I did orchestra, and it wasn't until middle school that I started doing mariachi.
Oh shit.
That's they had Grinder Middle School. I don't know if you've heard of it. They've competed at Extravaganza before. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's where I started doing mariachi. So I did orchestra and mariachi. And I joined mariachi like I want to say in the 6th grade. But I wasn't in the class. I was in like the after school club.
The after school.
Yeah, the little after school club. And then in 7th and 8th grade, I was in actual class, and that's where I started like singing mariachi. So like 6th, 7th grade, that's when I started singing it. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of went from there. I mean, once I got to high school, I went to it's called Booker T. Washington High School. We've passed by it before.
Yeah, you show it to us all the time. Like if you're in Dallas and you're going by what freeway is that? The one that was passing there.
It's kind of like you're merging onto 75.
Bueno, that street when you're like going that way, and you showed us the school. It looks like a advanced ass like I don't know. It looks like super, like you showed it to us and you're like, oh, that's where I went to high school. I'm like, dude, that looks nothing like Northside High School. Like our high school, like that should look all nice and shit. Because
I think you said it looked like a corporate building.
Yeah, I think it looks like kids walk out of there with lawyer degrees or some shit. And I'm just thinking like, damn, that's what's up that you were there. Because I think you told me too, you had to apply to go there, like because it was specifically for music for you to go, right? Like.
Yeah, so it's a performing and art school. So like I applied to like the music department, almost like college, really.
Yeah.
I had to apply, audition, interview, and then it was. I mean, it's supposedly like it's a pretty hard school to get into.
I mean, it looks like it. I mean, I think public school you just sign up, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I would think it's a little bit harder.
So yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's a great school. I mean, I loved it there.
Yeah.
It was, and it's in what's called the Arts District of Dallas. So like right next to it, it's like the Windspear Opera House.
Yeah.
And like next to that is like the Dallas Symphony. Cathedral is there. It's part of the church.
Right.
It's part of like the Arts District. Yeah. And then the Museum of Art is on the street too. So it's very like I said, very like classical music based. So I played a lot of orchestra there.
Was that
And
like? Sorry, was that like your goal? I mean, it says that you started. You say you started like in sixth grade, mariachi, right? So
yeah.
when you got into this whole thing about getting to play violin like in fourth grade, were you thinking that mariachi was going to be a thing that you do later, or was it just kind of like you got in mariachi just cause, or what was the plan there?
Dude, I just played violin like just because I liked it. Like I don't even know how I got into it. I was like,
Right.
you know what, I guess I'm gonna try it, and I just
Yeah.
kept with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started mariachi, it was around that time that I found out that my great grandfather also played violin.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, like I guess it's like in my blood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I was like, oh, I guess I could keep doing it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I liked mariachi when I was in it in middle school, but like I said, I just kind of went along with it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was gonna keep doing mariachi, and I just know I like the violin. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like the violin, like the instrument.
And
Um,
we should say it on here. You're pretty good. Like I remember, I forgot where I saw you first. I don't remember the first time I saw you play, but I was like, "Damn, this kid's actually pretty good." That's why I actually got me pumped about you starting to play with us, because I was like, "You're a strong violinist," so that kind of made me like, "Oh, chingon, like some more structure," that brings in some structure into the group, because I mean, you've seen it. We talked about it on here. There's a lot of mariachis that have like charro theory, so a lot of
oh
them,
yeah,
they'll play, but there's no like technique behind it sometimes,
yeah.
they'll just kind of play. So like when you bring someone into that, like into your group, that also obviously helps the section out for sure. So
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. So as you started getting pretty serious about playing, when would you say that was? Like in high school, when you were like, I'm getting pretty good at this. This is what I want to do. What was
Yeah,
the
I
thought
think
process
I
there?
yeah, I mean, I think the fact that I wanted to go to that school, yeah, that's basically when my goal started. I was like, you know what, I think I want to be serious about it because I also always played sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I played baseball all my life since I was
Yeah.
like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
But going to that school meant that I basically stopped playing baseball because
Right.
it's a magnet school and they don't have sports, or they don't have like we don't have football.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I guess I'm gonna focus on music, really, on the violin.
Right.
And yeah, it was basically high school. But the only thing that like I guess it was like sucked because I started gigging mariachi in the 8th grade, so I was starting to really get into
Oh
mariachi.
shit. That
Yeah,
early? Eighth grade?
yeah, 8th grade. But it
Damn.
was like some people that had just left the middle school that were already in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My middle school teacher started like an outside group. So kind of like you see younger kids today, like forming a group, fresh out of like high
Mm.
school or even during high
Or
school,
even during high school,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
see
yeah.
that, yeah.
So it was kind of like that, and so the only thing that sucked about going to my school was that there was no mariachi program there. Like unlike other schools like Northside,
Yeah.
I think fine arts was already a thing at that time.
Right.
So I didn't have the experience a lot of people did in school.
Okay.
Like so I didn't get to do like stay, or I didn't get to do like all the stuff y'all did, like travel and all that. And
Oh,
I saw a lot
true.
of my friends, yeah, like I saw a lot of my friends from middle school that went to like like GP or fine arts or schools like that.
So you
Like
could have gone to one of those schools, and you specifically wanted to go to Booker T, or
yeah,
right?
because I loved mariachi, and I was like, you know what, maybe I can like still go to my high school,
Mm-hmm.
like get better, like learn technique and still gig on the side. So that was kind of like my like consensus, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was able to, go to school and still gig on the side, which I gigged throughout all of high school, really.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean that's how I kept tabs with mariachi
Yeah.
during high school. And then it wasn't until college that I really, finally wasn't like a bigger ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's when you really
Yeah.
got to like branch out, other than gigging, I guess you could say. Because I mean,
Yeah.
in high school, so you were gigging in high school already, then at least.
Mm.
Because I remember, I think I've seen like videos of you. You look the same. First of
Yeah.
all, yeah,
I haven't aged a bit.
you haven't aged, dude, which is a good thing, because you're gonna like that when you're like 50 and you still look, 30 probably at this point, or 20 or whatever.
I'll
you
probably look
know,
my age right now. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So you can't really complain about that. You don't want to look busted, like us. But the I've seen videos of you back then. You know, obviously you were out playing. You know, what was the experience? You know, going out there. I guess I don't know that experience of being a violinist and being like, you know, I play violin. Like I sing too. You know, like how was it early on gigging for you, like to get work and going out and doing performances? What was that whole thing like for you?
I mean, it was tough, man, because right off the bat, like being a melodia player, like they assume you sing, you know? So
True.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like they're like, oh, you play violin, you play trompeta, oh, you sing too, you know? I'm like, I guess, you know, little kid, yeah, like little me was like, oh, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough as a little kid. It's very intimidating too,
For
as a
real.
little kid. Yeah, because you're playing with all these older guys, you know, and then especially when I first started, I look 12 now. So when I actually was 12, you know, people are like, you're like, ah, qué bonito el niño, you know.
You're like, fuck you, bro.
10 years later, ah, qué bonito el niño.
Last week, bro. Like,
Last
Yeah,
week.
exactly. Yeah.
That's funny,
So,
dude.
but I guess it kind of goes like it also used like it was an advantage too, because whether I was good or not, like people would see me like, oh, El Niño, you know, they were like
True.
amazed either way, you know. So
It's funny because like a cute kid can pass off like so much. Like he
yeah.
could be straight trash, and exactly they have that advantage of like, mira qué bonito, like todo just al final, dude. Like,
it
tocando
was funny.
menores.
Yeah, for real. It was
Yeah.
funny because at Burros at one time, remember there was that couple. They're like, oh, qué bonito canta, pero va a cantar más bonito cuando esté más grande. They're like, cuando
Oh
crezca,
yeah.
Cuando
yeah,
crezca.
yeah, cuando crezca va a cantar bonito. I'm like,
And then I think
little thing.
we said that same thing too because we were like, you know, y su papá, and like, oh, ahí está, and it's Victor. And they're all like, and they told him like, hey, cuando esté más.
Oh, sí, 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 I remember that. Some
They're-
client was like, oye, canta muy bonito ese niño, cuando esté grande va a cantar muy bien. I'm like, pues que creo que ya,
Y la ya creció.
yeah.
Badass. So okay, so you mentioned that you finally got a taste of, I guess, what it's like to be in a bigger group and doing bigger performances once you got to school. You know, you went to Texas State, like I said. What was your decision to go into Texas State? Was there other options, or were you looking specifically at that school?
I just know I wanted to, like I said, pursue mariachi, really. My two options were UTRGV
Right.
for Aslan and Texas State.
Right.
So it was just a matter of like convenience, really. Like
Yeah.
money wise, you know,
Mm-hmm.
location wise, just a lot, you know, with everything that goes into choosing a school.
For real.
I had gotten accepted to both. I went and auditioned with Pancho my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got accepted. I also got accepted at Texas State. And it was really the mariachi that drew me to both.
Right.
But then again, what drew me more to Texas State was the violin professor, which is like my violin teacher now. I had also met with her before.
And she's with classical music, or what
Yeah,
is it?
classical music.
Okay,
I
cool.
met her through my high school.
Okay, cool.
She did like a master class at my school, and so like I was one of the people like to play for the master class.
Mhm.
So like I had to like I played my solo that I did play at my college auditions,
Mhm.
and well, she was there, and that's how I met her. And so it was kind of like, well, I know more people at Texas State. Like, you know,
Yeah.
at that point I had also met Miss Quintero, the vocal teacher.
Mhm.
I had met her at the UNT camp, the mariachi camp. I don't know if you ever
Oh,
went to that.
yeah. Or did you go?
Mhm.
How many years did you go?
Like 2.
I went to. Okay.
Yeah,
We
I
both
went
at the same
twice
time?
too.
Okay.
We went to some time.
Wait, were you at the ones we were at?
You were at
Yeah.
you were at the one that I went last. I was like,
So was I
just
there?
graduated. No, I just graduated from
Oh,
Northside,
yeah.
and you were like this little kid. I mean, still.
Hey.
You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, Dan, because I think I went like in 2000. Fuck, a long time ago.
2000 fuck.
Yeah,
We
my-
went. You and me went 2011, I think.
Yeah, I was like
I
either
was
a
like an
sophomore or
8th grader.
junior.
I was an 8th grader. It was the summer of my 8th
So then I
grade,
was a sophomore.
probably.
So
When did you graduate, Vic?
15.
That's the year that we went. man.
Yeah.
It was that same year. Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember that was the year I went to Tengo Talento. Forgot about that.
Oh
Yeah,
you did
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was the same
We got to
year.
bring that up real quick. Okay, so I remember, I do know that you told us that you were on that show. So what was that like? Was it in Dallas? Like, was that why you went?
Well, okay. So the first auditions they have, they like they tour the whole country. So they go to all the major cities.
Right.
And so they have like a pre-recorded audition, and then I guess they send it to the judges over there and stuff.
Yeah.
And then from there, I don't know the process, but they pick like a certain amount of people from each city.
Right.
And so I remember at that UNT camp, that's when I met Miss Quintero.
Okay.
And I told her, I was like, hey, like, I'm going to go to the show in LA. She's like, oh, you know.
Oh, you went to LA?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was in Dallas this whole time.
No, it wasn't.
You were here doing cross-country tours and you didn't tell us?
So I told her, I was like, I'm doing the show. She didn't really care, but she's like, okay. She's like, oh, pues I'll give you a lesson, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
And so she gave me a lesson, and the week later I flew out to LA.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool, man. I mean, I think I was 16 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I look the same.
But the appearance doesn't change much.
No, at all, dude. Yeah. But I mean, so I flew out. I was 16, and they paid for the flight, and they paid for like the hotel.
All inclusive.
I was living big, bro.
I kind of like this, you know.
I could get
getting pampered. You
said give me Pampers?
Yeah, no, getting pampered.
Oh,
I mean the first one works too.
I roasted myself.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so you went over there, and I always wondered how that show went, because I always see like it's always on. Like I always see the auditions, but I never see like the ending.
That's true. I
always see the audition. Like I bring up my parents, because I would like walk in and they're watching it, and they're like, ira, and it's whatever the fuck they're doing, you know, that.
Yeah.
You know, ira, está haciendo esto, ira. And I'm like, when's the, you know, America's Got Talent usually gets to the people at the end, the finals, but it's always like, I feel like they're just reruns now, just like all these crazy ass auditions.
Nah, but you know why they play the auditions though? Because in the auditions they have the people that like are really good, and then they have the people that they make fun of.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's got to be good TV. I mean, think about it. If they were all good, nobody would watch, because they're like, oh damn, he's really good. Oh shit, he's pretty good. Oh shit, but you laugh at the dude that's like,
exactly.
Look at this dumbass.
That's the funny thing. Yeah.
That's so good. Imagine being like shitty, and then you make it. And then you're like, oh, I guess I'm pretty good, you know? And then you get there and just get roasted to shit.
For real.
The whole time, like, damn, they really like me. Like,
you're all hyped up. And shit, right?
So like, which one? Yeah. So which one were you? Were you the fuera?
I was like, depends on the round, bro.
Oh shit! So how many rounds?
How far did you get?
Yeah, how far did you get?
I got to cuartos de final. So I passed the recorded audition. And then I did the audition. They call it like the eliminatory.
Okay.
So it's like the first round, and then I got to quarterfinals. So I guess I did 3 rounds total. Oh, and it was in fourth. Yeah, it was in the 4th round that I got knocked out, I guess.
Damn.
But I know.
So that would have been your music career right there. Like Saul would have been on fucking billboards in LA.
You would have been like Cristian Nodal, bro.
Yeah, dude. You could have. Yeah, it could have been you and Belinda right now, bro.
Me and Angela.
Ay, güey.
I mean,
we didn't say all that about chick.
Like the 16-year-old, bro. Like,
nah, she's 17. I don't know. Point is,
when is you're in trouble, bro? Like,
I'm like, yeah, you're already in trouble.
Ya me quemé.
Chingon. So you got dropped from what's it called? Tengo Talento. And then you had to rethink your life. So then you went to college. You're like, I guess I'll do this. So you went to Texas State, which is great. You know, that's when I saw that you were in the Texas State group. And when I spent the 2 years there, I mean, it was cool. It was a cool experience. So I can see how for you it was cool, because since you said you didn't get to do the same thing as like some high schoolers, so you didn't get to do like the trips you didn't get to do like the big competitions and stuff like that.
Stuff.
And that's what I like too about being like like when you do high school and college mariachi, like you still get to continue it. You still get to interact with a lot of other players. So that's what I really like about that kind of stuff. How was your how long did you play at Texas?
I was in the group for 5 semesters, so 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
2.5 years,
something like that.
Then Caguante, bro.
Caguante. Chingón. And then
no, that's more than here, bitch.
For real.
Yeah, for damn. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, how was your experience at Texas State? Getting to be like, you know, in a bigger group again, or now seeing, you know, what that's like. I know you did competitions, you did Vargas and stuff like that. So
yeah, it was cool, man. My freshman year, it was kind of cool because my freshman year, like a lot of us were freshmen that year. So like a lot of the people were new. So like a lot of us were going through like the same experience, you know.
Right.
So it was a pretty young group. Like I think almost all the violins except for the section leader, which was Alondra. I think y'all both know her.
Yeah,
she was
in our school.
She was like the only one out of the violins really that had already been there before.
Yeah.
So our first year we went to Vargas Extravaganza.
Right.
And we ended up winning. Yeah, we won first place that year.
Oh,
dude, I was so nervous because that was probably like the biggest stage I'd ever been on, or like the biggest crowd at least. Like during the competition, and then the, you know how if you win, you do the freaking the concert.
You open up for
Vargas.
Yeah, you open up for Vargas. Yeah. So dude, I was nervous, and I was a freshman. Like
that's crazy. That's crazy because I didn't think about that. You're right. Because I mean, if you didn't do as much in high school, like those kind of things, that would be like really your first experience in that. Because I know like doing competitions in high school, that shit does get you nervous, dude. Like think about it like this. Like, yeah, I mean, you did sports, but it's like going to a big game, you know, going to a championship game. You get those exact same feelings of being like, shit, like if I fuck up, and if I mess up, you know, like it's gonna ruin this. You know, you work your whole all these practices are leading up to this moment. So yeah, it can be. I know for sure for me, like sometimes I was up there like sweating, and y'all see my forehead. It'd be sweating hard, you know, like at gigs. So
yeah,
it's like that but on a performance, you know. So
yeah.
It could be some shit, you know, for sure.
Yeah, man, because like I remember basically everyone that was like a freshman, like my age,
right?
They all came from the valley. Some people from Northside were there, like Yadira, Jose, Juan. So like, I mean, like I was the only one that was nervous. Everyone had already done it before. I'm over here like shitting bricks. For real, I'm over here shitting bricks, and everyone's like, "It's gonna be fine." I'm like, what do you mean?
No pasa nada, no pasa nada.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everyone else had competed. Everyone else had performed. I was literally like probably the only one.
Right.
But it was cool, man. That ever since then, like I was like, all right, well, if I can do this, I guess, you know, I could get used to it, you know.
Right.
But it was cool, man. I think that summer after we went to Albuquerque. So, yeah, we went 2 years in a row. And it was cool, man. Like you get to meet a lot of cool people, like maestros, really. Like you learn a lot.
Yeah.
I throughout college, really, I learned a lot from like, you know, big people. I started meeting a lot of people. Mike Guzman, he teaches at Texas State.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Guzman.
Yeah,
I owe that man so much, man. I was in the mariachi minor at Texas State, and so he taught me like all the other instruments, like taught the viola class, trumpet, guitarron. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't, like when I got to Texas State, like I just knew violin. That's all I knew.
And it's crazy because they didn't have that when I was there. Because it's a mariachi minor. I know Texas State has that, but that's such a valuable resource if you think about it. Because I know that at Texas State with that mariachi minor, you get the opportunity to look, even if like, you know, every class is a class, right? But it's about how much you fully take advantage of it. Because like really, you could have been a guitarron class, like I'm never gonna play this, so like why am I even learning it? Or like I could be in trumpet class, like I don't like trumpet, like what am I doing here? But if you take advantage of that, you're like, you know, I can use this later. And like the fact that they offered a class like that to be like, this is the basic trumpet, this is the basic armonia, like all of that stuff helps you out immensely, especially like if you're looking to teach, or you're looking, or even you know, even if it's just to have a conversation with trumpet players and be like, I know what you're talking about. Like that makes such a difference. Because I know for sure, like when people be talking, I mean, now I'm more interested in that. Like that's why, like you and Boyo, when you guys are in the van, I'll be like, hey, like, so what do you do with violin? What do you do here? And that's to get an understanding. Because one thing I do feel about mariachi is that sometimes we can focus too much on our own instrument that we don't realize that there's so many other things going on than just what you're doing, right? Like you can learn your part. You got first violin. You know todas las entradas. You know the tempo, you know the rhythm, you know all that. But when if you don't fully understand what Victor's doing on guitarrón, if you don't understand what I'm doing on armonía, what our trumpet players are doing, when you have an overall sense of everything that's going on in that song, it helps you out so much. And I didn't like for me, like I never got to play melody, but I did get to play guitarrón. And once I learned that, like that just opened up my eyes. I always tell like even my students that like knowing. Just having a basic understanding of what the other instrument is doing helps you out so much. Like just to understand what the bigger picture is. I think that's the biggest thing. And the fact that Texas State allows that, like that's really cool. Because you got to basically play all the instruments, right? In those classes.
Yeah, I think the first instrument I learned was guitarrón. That's the first class I was offered because they offer like they offer an instrument per semester.
Right.
So like it's armonía, melodía, armonía, melodía. So the first thing I learned was guitarrón, and then the next semester it was trumpet, and then the semester after that was vihuela. Vihuela. And so it was cool, man. I mean, if it weren't for those classes, like I wouldn't know anything about those other instruments. Maybe vihuela, but just a little, like G, D7.
Yeah.
Like
and it's funny because like you've used all those skills in this group. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like Victor's like, hey, wait, lechas, because he has to go to the bathroom or whatever. So you play bass.
Like depends on the song, bro.
Yeah. But just knowing that basics, has helped you out, to the point where we could be like, in an emergency, you can play trumpet because you've done that in this group too. There's
Dude, the first gig I ever did with Allende before I even joined the group was on trumpet.
I remember.
Dude, that was
you remember that?
Yeah,
I remember. What I remember is that it was like at Burros, right? It was at our planta, and I remember that our boss, he came to us. He's like, "Hey, wait, you know how he talks? Hey, wait, no conoces un trumpet, güey? Es que estoy buscando a alguien, güey. Es que he wasn't gonna go that day, apparently. So he was looking for anybody, because I think you were by yourself, right?
Yeah, because later on I found out that Mike was in Mexico. It's around the time that he usually goes to Mexico.
Right. So
around this time actually, I think.
Not only was the Mike gone, but so was Arturo. So we had no trumpets, and it's a Friday night, so it's hard to find a trumpet player. And it's funny because I think your name came up because I knew you played trumpet. I remember, I think, asking my sister, I knew you were her boyfriend, and I was like, I've seen in videos that he's holding a trumpet. I was like, I wonder if he knows how to play trumpet, how to play it. And I remember, I think I still remember hitting her up, hey, does Saul play trumpet? I think she put something like laugh my ass off a little bit,
yeah,
something like that, And
it depends it depends on your definition of play,
right? And it's funny because I think I told her hey, you think se quema, the planta, if he wants to come out, it's because we have nobody, we need help. And did you find out that you were the only one when you got there, or did you already know?
I think I knew. No, yeah, I knew going into there. But I was like, I kept telling Lela, I was like, are you sure? She's like, oh, they really need someone. They just need somebody.
Yeah, we didn't have shit.
I was like, okay.
And and all the skills that you had were the ones from that class. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This was probably the beginning of summer. I had just moved back.
Yeah.
And that class was a spring semester class. So I had been taking it since January.
You had February. Just graduated from the class with a C.
I had to take extra credit, bro.
Ya empezamos mal, Motherfucker was on a D almost, But I remember you came out. I think I had just met you once before that, so I was just things are always a little awkward in the beginning because you don't know everybody yet, So I was just like, hey man, so I guess you could stand right there. That's usually where like the trumpet players,
Yeah.
stand. And I just remember, Arturo wasn't there. So, and then I kept having to remind him, like, hey, like, I know his strong suit is violin. So he's not like,
I think you picked up the violin after a while, like,
I don't
because
remember.
after the talón, you're just kind of like, man, fuck this shit.
Oh, yeah. Porque fue el camello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah,
he
he
would
was
sing a song, I was like, préstame el violín, porfa. Like, I swear I'm not shitty on everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what you said too at that time. You're
It's
like,
because the reason I bring that up is because you were on trumpet, and I kept having to remind my boss, like, he's not a trumpet player, like he's a violin player, and he
Yeah.
sings well and he plays violin, like that's es su fuerte, violin. So fast forward a little bit later when when we were looking for a violin player or like someone to join the group, he was like, it's like, we need players. You can tell it. I was like, well, I think you had just recently moved back into the area, because I think so. You take a little break from school, so you were back in the area, and I was all like, well, I think Saul's here, and he was like, the trumpet player, and I'm like, no, he's a. I was like, no way, he's a violin player. Like I
like,
keep
Arturo still has him down as like Saul,
Saul
like
trumpet.
So trompeta. I wouldn't be surprised.
But
I want to ask him that actually.
it's like Saul's trumpeta.
Right, he went back to change it to Saul's, but not take away trumpet. Es capaz, bro.
Yeah, dude. And I remember I was just like, hey, and like, I thought Saul, he plays well and he sings well. And he's like, seguro. And I'm like, yeah, man. Like,
Right.
Because I mean, that's the thing I kept like vouching for. Like everybody, I was like it's because he's not a trumpet player. Like, it's no so fuerte,
Yeah.
So then like when they finally got to see you come out, I think, so your first gig was Burros.
Also
So,
Burros.
yeah. So when you came out on violin, like that was like your first time. So that's really when they first saw you play violin, like actually, and then you got to contribute more because you could also sing. So like, as a trumpet player, you kind of can't because you were playing all the parts.
Yeah, I was by myself, so I couldn't really
Yeah.
leave that spot, which
It's
sucked
funny.
because I wanted to sing so bad. I was like, let me
Yeah.
sing, let me take a break,
Let me do something, bro. I can do this.
let me prove myself, bro, please.
It's funny because I still remember this actually at that first gig you went to. You were playing trumpet, and I think we called for like Relampago or something. And then so they, the violin started, and then when you came in, it was like,
Oh no, creo que era el son de la negra, ¿no?
Oh yeah,
Because I remember like a little like.
Like the tempo's like fucking,
like he was trying to like get the note,
Yeah.
but like I mean
yeah, shit.
Yeah.
But looking back, I was just like, damn, we really did that to him, bro. Like,
I was like,
ya casi lo quemamos, way, because like we were like he's not a trumpet player, like bring him as a violin player, like, that's funny. Like, oh man, good times.
it's like I could play the trumpet parts on violin. I got you
Yeah,
there.
right. Chingon. So yeah, so I guess so you were in school for a little bit. You were doing mariachi. That was your major, right? Or what was your major? I know you changed it.
Well, when I first got to Texas State, I was a performance major with the concentration in like orchestra, so classical violin, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I switched it to music ed. And then my last semester before going back, I forgot I was here. Going back to Dallas, I had switched it to Bachelor of Arts in Music, which is basically like just a general music degree,
right,
but without any kind of certification.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I took a break. I took a year off really when COVID hit. I just
was it a year? Was it 2 semesters?
Yeah, 2 semesters.
Yeah.
When did you
spring and fall? No?
When did you get out?
It was during COVID. During COVID, that spring semester.
But you finished off that spring, no? Because I remember. Yeah. So you took off the fall of 2020.
Yeah, I moved back. I moved back mid-semester was when COVID hit.
When COVID hit,
spring.
Yeah,
when COVID hit.
Which is like March 2020.
Yeah, basically, like when everything went down, like I went back to Dallas thinking, it was gonna be like spring break, but it ended up being like a whole year.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy looking back at all that, because everybody went through something in that season. You know what I mean? We look back at COVID when that did hit. It really did turn everything upside down. I know for a lot of people, like for you included, like you went home thinking that it's spring break, and then it's like, oh, it's an extra week. Oh, it's an extra 2 weeks. Oh, it's the rest of the semester. Oh, it's the rest of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what was your thought process? Because I mean, you mentioned right now, but yeah, you took a break from school, which you're not the only one. A lot of people went through that exact same thing, whether it was for their health. It was for a lot of reasons. A lot of people, it was either their health, you know, because the last thing I want is to be going to class, which I already don't want to go to. And I also get sick from one of those dudes, you know? So like, there's a lot of reasons. Right. It could be health wise. It could be money wise. I mean, everybody had something happen there. Someone was funding their school with their job. They got laid off of their job. So, you know what I mean? It complicates everything. So when you went through the whole COVID transition thing, what was your thought process knowing that you were, or did you know you were taking a break right then and there, or what was your thought process?
Well, to be very honest with you, I had thought of it before COVID, only because like I had changed my major like twice. I was like, at this point, I don't even know like what it is I want to do. I knew I wanted to do music, but I was like, I like literally did all the 3 majors that they offered in music, you know.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a year off. And then COVID hit. I was like, you know what, I guess it was not meant to be, but I was like, you know, I guess it's a sign, you know.
Yeah.
But my plan was to eventually go back to school. Like, it's not like I was dropping out completely, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to take a break. I feel like I truly needed to take a break, you know, for a lot of reasons, money too. I was like, if I go back and I don't work because of COVID, like, I'm gonna be in debt. I don't want to go into school knowing that I'm gonna be in debt.
Right.
And like, as you know, we weren't gigging as much.
Yep.
Like I know I do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I know groups I could have gigged with, you know, in Dallas, but no one was gigging, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, like I said, I took a year off. I needed it money wise, and also like I need to figure out what I want to do first, you know, because I don't want to just spend my money and, you know, not be sure.
Right.
And so, but like I said, the plan was always to go back.
Right.
You know, I'm here now, you know.
Yeah.
But I know my parents for sure were scared that I was gonna like get used to working and get used to being home. Like they were scared of me not going back.
Right.
You know? But I was like, no, you know, I'm gonna go back. And did you hear that?
It's an alarm. It's like,
time out.
There's a bean in here.
You get locked in, bro. Like
they're like, Amber Alert.
Then we got a small.
They're like, never mind.
They're like, we have a kid in the building. Like, where are your parents, bro?
Are you lost, little boy?
They're like, he's playing games on your computer.
He's on coolmathgames.com. Coolmathgames.com.
Now they said that they close at 11.
Oh damn!
And it's
I think we can finish. We can finish. I think.
Okay. No, yeah, it's
Let's
cool.
keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
They won't find me.
You're hidden.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you were saying, yeah. So your parents were a little worried. Obviously, I feel like any parent would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it like this: when you get started with anything, you'd want to finish it. Like anything you can think of, once you start, you want to finish it. You don't want to leave things unfinished. So that's always a motivation for you to obviously not be, I don't want to say a quitter, but someone that doesn't finish. You know what I mean? If you have a goal, you want to eventually finish it, or at least do as much as you can to get to that goal. So, yeah, I understand that, and it's funny too, because like I feel like either parents or students didn't know what to think, because really I kept telling my students, look, like no one's ever lived through something like this whole pandemic thing. So there's no precedent to anything. None of this has a precedent. So like this has never happened before. A lot of people are having brand new emotions that, you know, we've never had to experience. So a lot of people were in that same mindset, whether it was, you know, even public school, man. Like some kids haven't come back to school yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even online, you know, so that was a whole thing in itself, you know? So, that's kind of how I look at it. Like you mentioned just now. I mean, you're back there. You came back. That's why we say that you're leaving us, because you only got to be in the group for a little bit. I mean, you still are. You're making, you're doing the what's it called? The commuter plan.
Commuter plan.
Yeah, because you've been helping us out still on Fridays and Saturdays, so you make the drive from over there, which is for anybody that doesn't know, the drive from San Marcos to Fort Worth, Dallas area is pretty much like 3.5 hours without
Three and a
traffic.
half.
Without traffic, if there's traffic, then TBA, you know. So as you're doing this plan or whatever, what's your basis behind making the drive? What is that like to be a commuter mariachi coming from over there? I mean, what's that whole thing like?
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of risky. It already happened once where my car broke down on the way over there.
Oh, bro, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, but it's cool, you know. And actually, that was the first weekend I did the commute, which kind of sucked.
Yeah,
I think
like
Victor was like, Vic was like, "Ya empezamos mal." I was like,
Yeah. He sent me a snap. I'm like, what are you doing in Waco? Like,
he's like, we started in half an hour.
yeah.
Like, you're still coming, right?
Like, ¿qué crees?
I got an Uber, right?
Yeah, right.
Shit, I would have gotten there sooner too.
Yeah, probably. But you would have left your car there. So, like, for those who don't know, yeah, your car just basically gave up on you in Waco.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so the good thing is you got there. So what do you feel is like the biggest difference? I mean, you got to gig here and you got to gig over there, and we kind of talked about it on here. Victor doesn't know because he's never gigged in Austin, you know, San Antonio area. What's your experience working over there and then working over here?
It's almost like a totally different world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool gigging over here. I think ever since I started, like, I mean, I had gigged in Dallas for a while before I got to college. When I got here, it was very different, you know.
Right.
Not that it's bad or anything. It's just different. What's the word? Like different customs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, one thing is like we ride in a van together, which is basically most groups in Dallas, you know.
Yeah.
They ride in a van for most part. All groups, you know, meet somewhere and then they don't drive for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And then groups over here, they I don't think it's pretty rare that a group has a van over here. So you're having to drive yourself to all the gigs.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I'm lucky to have work here too. I mean, you know, it helped me a lot financially through college. Really.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it helped a lot. But it's very different. I think people who have played in both places know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The rep is very different too. Like you play so many corridos in Dallas too. Like they basically ask for all styles, you know, like corridos, like everything, like
norteños, cumbias,
everything, dude. To be honest, I learned so much this past year just playing with you guys in Allende.
Oh yeah.
Especially because like there's a lot of songs that I had played before when I was in Dallas that I didn't play over here in you know, the Austin area.
Right.
So whenever I rejoined the group, I was like, dang, like I had to relearn a lot of stuff, singing and playing.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. I mean, yeah, it's different. It's different. That's all I gotta say, really.
Yeah. And the reason I bring it up is just because like you got to do both. So since you have both experiences, you can see. I think the one thing I told you was like, well, Austin and San Antonio, it almost feels like they have a formula. You know, it's like we're gonna come in, we're gonna play this, and then we're gonna play like this one, and at the very end we're gonna play this one. Like it's almost down to a science, like that they can fit this many songs in an hour. You know, that's so. Yeah. It feels like, for me, I speak on my own personal experience, but like for me, it just felt like I was doing the same thing, you know, pretty much at every gig. But over here, it's like you said, you were, even in the little while that you did spend with us, you know, you got to see like pretty much what we're talking about, where like, you know, every gig may be different, you know.
You never know what to expect.
You don't know what to expect. So like when people ask you like, okay, so what are we gonna play? Like everything, dude. Like I don't know what else to tell you, you know.
Yeah.
The most you can do is, you know, try to know your as much as you can, I guess, you know. Or at least
like people ask me, they're like, oh yeah, like what kind of songs do y'all play? I'm like, Ni sé dónde empezar, güey. Like,
yeah, like
there's so much. Yeah.
it's just a big array of things. Do you think that your violin skills or oh, actually we didn't talk about this, your perfect pitch, does
Oh
that
yeah.
help does that help you out at all?
It's a blessing and a curse. I think it helps me. It definitely like it's definitely an advantage. Like it helps me
Right.
pick up melodies a lot faster.
Okay.
Like 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 for example, but okay, so here's an example, right? Like you say, oh, ¿cómo va? And they're like, for example, right?
Yeah.
But like, so you kind of get the pattern. Like you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that's how it goes.
Okay.
But like, they would say they sing it in the wrong key. They're like, so it's like,
Yeah.
like I hear that, so I want to play that, but it's like, oh no, it's a different key.
Yeah.
So it's both easier and harder at the same time. It's easy like to transpose to most violinists really and trumpet players like I mean armonia players too, obviously.
Yeah.
We kind of get used to transposing and stuff.
Right.
And but like I said, then you get there's those times where you're trying to sing a song and then someone's in your ear, singing like half step apart. Then you have this other person like singing a whole fourth apart. So it's like
I was gonna say too, because I feel like that's the curse part of the perfect pitch. Because you said like we have a joke running all the time. When we can hear that someone's on tune, like we're just like, oh, they're out of tune. But you're over here making calculations in your head, like B G F sharp A G. You're just like, your head is steaming from all these different calculations that you're doing in your head. Like, oh shit, these frequencies.
Dude, I can't go anywhere without like hearing a pitch.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know, dude. Like this past week, those freaking little kids that were
those chairs.
They're on those damn metal chairs.
Yeah,
and you're like,
they're like turning. Yeah. I think it was an F sharp.
Yeah, it was an F sharp.
Yeah. And then you played the chord.
Yeah. Because you started playing it on your violin, and I was like, no, it's an F sharp. Like, yeah, and then and I hadn't even thought about it, but like while we were playing all the songs, like I hadn't really heard them, and then after you pointed it out, like, and since they wouldn't shut up, we were there playing, and the whole time,
you would just play like an F sharp minor chord.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn kids, man, shut up! Like someone get their damn kids,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's cool, man. That you can do that. That's because Robert, who's also been on here, like has that same thing. So,
yes.
Yeah, shout out to him. Also has that perfect pitch. So I feel like my ears would be ringing all day, like just from all those frequencies. Like he's like, you
get my pain.
Exactly.
Or like that one time we did that gig with where was it? With that gig Paco went to, where that little girl sang a song. And we're like, oh, cántala. I forgot what song she sang.
It was like Palma querida.
I don't know.
No me acuerdo. But anyways, we're like, oh, pues cántala. You know how like you ask, like you're like, oh, like if they don't know about music, you're like, oh, cántala un poquito.
Yeah.
And they sing it,
Yeah.
And I think she sang it in do or in re. No me acuerdo.
Yeah.
La cantó en re, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she started singing it, and she started in re.
Yeah.
But then she like halfway through the song, she switched to do. And then she just kept flipping. I think Victor noticed too, but she just kept flipping back and forth between
right.
And I was like, oh,
I don't.
No me acuerdo.
Yeah,
but she kept switching.
I remember Saul was like, oh, like change it back, and I'm like, okay, like,
yeah.
I'm like, I trust him, like,
yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the guy that knows, like, perfect notes. So that's funny, and it's funny too, because when you came into the group and you started at Burritos Locos, you brought in, I guess, like what's the word? Traíste completo, because that day, that's what we talked about. We talked about on here on the Mucha Lucha episode. The first day you were here, we were like, okay, we're meeting Saul, we're seeing how he plays. He plays good. And then at the end of the night, like they start fighting, or like not you, but like the dude that didn't want to pay. So if you have listened to that episode, there was a whole fight just because you were singing in the direction of your girlfriend or my sister, right? So like. The guy was like, no, que me canten aquí, quién sabe qué. But it was funny because like after that, we're all like, damn, Saul, like your first day, you're already getting into some shit.
After that, there's been a lot of violence at Burritos.
That's
it's
true.
Dallas, bro. It's Dallas.
It's the Oak Cliff. You brought
The
the
Oak
Oak
Cliff, dude.
You brought the Oak Cliff,
You
like
you taint your burritos, bro.
you
For
tainted.
Damn.
real.
That's crazy.
They're
That's
like,
funny
it smells like Oak Cliff. It smells like Oak Cliff in here.
Yeah, for real.
Smells like crime in here, bro.
For real, like the people that go into that room, they're gonna be like, "Man, it smells like some crimes in here."
Like some client just walks in, it's like, I want to fight. Like, it's just like
the janitor airboxing, you know.
right? Or like the waitresses, they're like working, they're like, it's just like all violent now.
Yeah.
Just I will.
Oh, that's a good thing to get into. So you, we kind of talked about your aging process on here. You're very into health right now. That's like your whole thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, we talked about you know, how when you got to school and stuff like that. I think you told me, right? I mean, I've told you, I've talked about it in general here. You know, the freshman 15 is real. Like when you get there,
Oh yeah.
you know, food is readily available to you. You know, swipes. You know, you kind of went through that same thing. How? I mean, did you enjoy your swipes when you were a freshman?
Dude, I can show you pictures. Like freaking yeah. I mean those
Good
those
times.
swipes get to you, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah.
Because I mean, that plucks, you know.
Oh, dude, Pluckers, man. I would go to Pluckers with Lela like at least 3 times a week.
Yeah, dude, and none of those are exactly diet wings. You know, each one of them is probably like, I don't even want to look at the calorie count. You know?
Yeah, I don't want to know. Like,
but
I might go after this.
yeah, but you got really into fitness. Was it when you came back?
I actually started working out that spring that COVID hit. So
Okay.
January of 2019, yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
told me.
Like, yeah, I kind of like realized that I was getting big, you know.
Yeah.
I was pretty big.
Mhm.
I was eating a lot too, basically just fast food, man. Like I had an apartment,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't cook shit, man.
Yeah. No, man, I'm right there with you, dude. When I got an apartment, I was like, I'm gonna start saving money because I'm not at the dorms, you know, be making nice meals, but you know, that's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like when you you start making it, all your friends are always like, hey, let's go eat this and that or whatever.
Yeah, it's easy. Like all the food is so like accessible.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was like, nah, man, I gotta do something about this because my traje wasn't fitting. Like nothing
That's how
fit.
you know, bro. That's how
I
you
was like,
know.
the traje won't lie to you, man.
It really
It's
won't. It'll humble you
at
quick
all.
too.
For
You
real, dude.
You think you're doing good. You've been eating más o menos, and then you put on your traje like, what is this?
Like you thought.
Like I thought I was on the second notch. What do you mean I'm on the first one now? You know what I mean?
You
Like,
know you're in trouble when your zipper starts breaking. I got to
oh
that
yeah,
point.
you're
I
like
got to that point.
you're like fucking zipper's not fucking working. Like if it's fault, like dude, I'm working. Like the zipper's like I'm fucking working.
Fucking zippers like Captain America, and then
With the
it's like-
helicopter.
yeah, it's like
It's like
they're
the,
trying to
the
keep it
Spider-Man.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Spider-Man with the
with the
train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. So that's cool because you got really into fitness and you dropped weight. So you actually reversed your aging because remember you showed us your
My licenses, I have them. I wonder if you could tell.
yeah, do them because you got
Well,
really
like,
Well,
just
you
blur out
share
my
your
info.
public information.
Yeah, I was like, just
cover
I'll
just
show
cover the
picture.
picture. Yeah, just cover the information. But
Well,
you
can you do that when you edit it? Or
no, just show the picture, fool.
damn. Well, let me see if okay. First of all,
No.
this is when I got
There you go,
big.
There you
Yeah,
go.
and I
Okay.
got bigger after this.
Oh
And
man.
then and then this is me when I was when I was 16. This is my first license.
That's you right now, dude. That's
That's
crazy.
me right now. Yeah. So I kind of
That-
aged backwards. Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. That you got into that, and you know you kept up with it, and now you're all like. So what's your end goal? You're trying to get like big, or
No, because I'm short, so I don't want to look weird.
you're gonna look like the dudes from Jersey Shore, like they're like short, but they're like all
Pinches
fucking
mamados, yeah.
You'd be like a walking fucking garden gnome or some shit. You know how they're thick, the garden gnome.
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No,
No, I mean
chingon.
like I don't want to get like buff. Like
Yeah.
I think my goal is to like be cut, but like I told Lela like I want to look like when I flex, I want to look like that like always, like without flexing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to be big. 'Cause, I mean,
So you're gonna be like lean. cup?
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Lean,
I think your goal. Your goal anytime you were trying to get healthy. I think that
yeah,
was your
no,
goal in the
yeah,
beginning, because you mentioned it right there, man. If your traje doesn't fit, like that's when you really start realizing. Because then you're like, here's the thing: you start thinking, okay, I'm gonna need either a new traje or I can fit into this one if I lose weight. Because once you buy that next traje, it's almost like you're accepting, like, fuck, like
yeah.
we're on our
You
way
admit
up.
defeat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you're like, I'm on my way up,
You
So
even
like,
order it with like extra room. Just
yeah,
like
yeah,
exactly. So like, once you make that decision of like, okay, I'm gonna get a bigger traje here, like, fuck, I guess this is what we're going to. Is this our whole thing now? So I mean,
yeah.
that's good that you decided to be healthy. I'm slowly getting up in the up back into that shit. Like I said, once you graduate and have a job and all that, that makes it a little bit tougher. But no, I commend you on that. That's very awesome, bro.
Good job,
It
man.
was hard at first because I did that whole chicken diet that I told you guys
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
and
You
when
joined on that diet.
yeah, I was still on
Remember we
it.
went to
Yeah,
Kansas
Oh yeah, when we
and
went to Kansas.
we went to IHOP. We all got like badass food, and he's like, "Oh, I can't eat that."
I was a black coffee, and Santa was
Yeah.
like,
I
"Bruh."
was like, you don't want a waffle, bro? Like,
Yeah.
they're really good,
And then
And-
Victor was like, "No, déjalo, like, good job."
Yeah.
It's like it had like the two, like the angel and
Yeah.
the devil.
We were here like, "Este
yeah,
güey."
Yeah,
that's funny. But
yeah.
yeah, you for a while, yeah, you carried around like your chicken and your protein bars and
Oh
your
yeah.
and what else did you
You
bring?
took your food one time. I remember, like, you took
I
like,
would take it in a cooler
yeah,
Yeah, but you
to
took some.
gigs.
Yeah,
What else
at
did I
the
take?
gigs, man. So it takes a lot of commitment to do something like that, Especially when
Yeah.
every other gig, sometimes there's tacos or, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
or like this last gig they had burgers there, and
oh yeah,
you know how it
Like
is,
yeah.
gigging, we don't have a chance, the only place to eat is sometimes at a gas
Quick trip.
station. Yeah, a gas station, which already is like repackaged, reheated food, but
For real.
and all of that packed with sodium, so it's not good either. And then, so the only time you get to eat is like at a gig or something like that. So, it can make it a little rough, that's for sure,
Oh yeah.
but,
No, for
so,
sure.
but that takes a lot of commitment just in general to do. But yeah, that's awesome. So as we wind down on this interview, um, you're back. You started off in Oak Cliff. You went through the middle school. You started off on orchestra, went into high school. At the prestigious Harvard of Dallas, or
Harvard.
you have to apply and all that.
Halloween.
Went to Texas State, took a quick break, and now you're back there. So as you look forward, as you're starting into your second round of college or whatever, what do you see like it being your goal? Personally and in mariachi, I mean, what are your goals that you're striving forward towards?
I mean, upon graduation, like I really want to perform. I think
Mhm.
since the beginning,
Yeah,
it's always been my
perform.
goal is to perform.
Yeah,
Who knows where it could take me? That's the cool
yeah,
thing about music. You never know where it can take you.
yeah,
Um, I feel like for me, it's like that's always been like I guess yeah, like my goal really.
right.
Like I learned all this stuff. I'm learning other instruments.
Mhm.
Um, um, I want to perform, man. Like I've
Yeah,
always loved playing.
yeah.
I thought I wanted to teach. I thought I could do it, but I just
Mhm.
realized it. Like it's
Might
just
not be
not
for you,
me.
and it's not for
Yeah,
everybody. Yeah, that's for
and it's
sure.
okay. Yeah, like at
Yeah,
first I was like, man, like what if people think I cared too much about what people thought.
hmm
It's like I'm just gonna do me, and I'm gonna try to perform, and who knows, join a group, make a group. I've always liked to travel. I've always wanted to travel.
yeah,
And so I thought it'd be cool, to go that route and
right.
see the world and all that.
Mhm.
And I have options as far as like where I go.
Mhm.
Um, I'm even possibly thinking about grad school.
Mhm.
So it just kind of depends, But
Yeah.
you know,
And that's the
but
main thing that I want to bring up to you. You don't know because in reality, nobody knows. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you can have a goal, but those goals can always change. You never know what the future holds. So I guess I'm telling you so that, whatever does happen, as long as you feel satisfied within yourself, I think that's
yeah,
always the most important thing. Um, Obviously you made the journey back to school, and that's
mm,
one of the things that's leading towards your goal. So that's really the best thing that you can do as of now. Eventually
Yeah.
you might even tomorrow you might have it completely figured out, and then it changes. So that's it's never a linear path. I guess that's the only thing I can say. But the good thing is that you're still continuing your music, so you're still continuing your education, and all of that is leading ultimately to what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, and if there are people out there that are taking a break or thinking about taking a break, like just know it, dude, it's okay. Like it's not the end of the world, like just don't really listen to people if they tell you like no, don't do it. Like if they think you're gonna be lazy, just always do you, really, especially when you get to college. Like a lot of people say, or I've heard a lot of people say, like college is like the most selfish time of of your life, really, because you're making decisions for you that are gonna affect your future.
Exactly.
So I mean, if you want to take a break, then go for it. Just don't take 10 years. I mean, if you need it,
if you need to,
yeah. I'm not gonna give you a time limit, but just don't give up is basically it. Just like that's what I did. I mean, I took a break knowing I was gonna come back eventually, even though people thought I wasn't. But I mean, hey, I'm here. I'm on campus.
Right now you're doing it live from Univision Studios and shit.
Right. Oh, it's still playing over
there. That's funny, dude. No, but that's good. That's good that you're back in school, and I hope to see you more here. We'll probably see you this week, but I'm glad that you got to play with us and that you continue to play with us. And who knows, whatever your future holds, I hope that whatever it is, you're satisfied with it, you're happy with it, and I mean, the only thing we can do is hope for better things. That's really all we can do for anybody that's listening.
For sure.
Anybody in this room. Or anybody, in San Marcos, anybody that's around the world, everything that you can do, anything that you can do, pretty much anything you want to do, if they're hiring. But, but you set your mind to something, you can pretty much get it done. You know what I mean? So, oh no, Saul,
look at the Wi-Fi.
Right. There we go.
I mean, it looks like a profile picture.
Yeah.
Like cuts off and it's
like a Christian Nodal album cover.
Right.
All right, so we kind of got cut off a little bit just because you had to get kicked out from Outkick. Apparently they were closing at 11.
That's what they were saying on the intercom.
And you were all like low key worried. It's funny because like that library when I know like during finals I think they close like at freaking 3 a.m. I know it's Outkick.
Yeah, like 3-4.
Yeah. So I remember you could either go to the quiet levels or you could go to like the ones where they're rowdy as hell. Like it's like the second or third floor. Everybody's talking, and we would go there just to mess around, to be honest. But whatever.
Yeah.
But good times, college times. But now you're in your car. Yeah. So I mean, we pretty much got to the end, which was good. We made it to the end of the episode. How do you feel? Are you good?
Feel accomplished. Mama, I made it.
Her mom's gonna watch like, oh no.
For this is mijo. Not even like this is mijo. This is mijo.
For real. No, thank you, Saul, for coming out on CharroBeans. Is a good little episode. We appreciate your time, especially since you should be studying or doing homework assignments right now, probably. But
test tomorrow. Oh no, Wednesday.
Oh, there you go.
No pasa nada, right?
Yeah, no pasa nada. I'm like, for real, right? Like, nah, pasa nada. But yeah, we appreciate you coming out and doing this with us, talking with us. Anything you want to say here at the very end of your episode?
No, well, I mean, first of all, thank you guys for having me. Like I said, I've been watching you guys since the beginning. So, like, I wasn't even in the group yet, so I never thought it'd really be considered for an episode, which is pretty cool, But yeah, thank you guys. It's been cool gigging with you guys, and I'm gonna miss like being over there like consistently.
Yeah.
But I mean, thank you guys. It was fun. It was cool. It passed by a lot faster than I thought, honestly.
I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, it just flies. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But and then to anyone who's listening, just keep doing what you're doing, whatever you're doing. Just keep continuing, try hard. Don't let anyone else tell you what you want to do in life, really. I mean, and if you do need a break from school like I did, go for it. You know, don't let anyone tell you that it's what's right or wrong, because you, at the end of the day, you know what you need, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, just échale ganas, you know.
Yeah.
You'll get what you need, you know. You'll get what you're looking for. Hopefully.
Yeah, eventually, and hopefully.
Yeah,
right?
eventually. Yeah.
That's all we can really hope for. Nah, but we appreciate you doing this. We'll see you soon, which is great.
Yep.
And yeah, Victor, you got anything?
Good shit, man. Good job.
That's it.
Like those rookie ass dads, just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
you're like, hey, I got a 90. Could it be 100?
For real. Story of my life, bro.
Chingon. No, Saul, get inside. Be safe out there while you're in school, and we'll see you later, man.
See you here.
See
Take
you
it
guys
easy.
soon. Alrighty. A cue outro right here.
Yeah, cue outro.
Cue outro.
No,
All right, you guys.
not really.
Thank you.
But...
Oh, not really.
No, mames.
No, just kidding. All right, man. No, for real. Yeah, take it easy, man. We'll see you later.
You too, guys. Bye.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Boom. Later. Oh shit. I'm like, should we tell him that it was a trash episode?
Yeah.